everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Art in the Studio with Miss Choate and Miss Pepper. Today what we're going to be doing is a cubism drawing. And so if you don't know what cubism is, it's the use of shapes and lines to create something that looks like something you might see in the everyday world, but it's kind of jumbled like shapes. And so I'm going to show you some examples of that, and we're going to make a cubism tree. So let's get started. For a cubism tree, you can use any supplies you want. I'll be using a marker for my outline. I'd recommend for cubism, there was, lines and shapes and simple forms broken down. So I'd recommend using either like a marker, or if you want to do a pencil, go over it then with marker to do your outline. So the first thing we're going to be doing is our tree trunk. We're going to be having our lines come from the bottom of the page up towards the middle. And you want your base to be wider and then narrower. Now if you want to make a couple of trees, you can practice this one first and then do a second drawing where you turn it into more of your own. Then we're going to take our branches, and they're going to be straight lines coming off kind of like the sun. And they're going to be rays coming off the tree. And they're going to go all the way to the edge of the paper. And you can make them closer together or farther apart. This is where you can have a little bit of creative freedom. And from here, we're not going to be coming off the tree trunk. We're going to be coming from the middle of the tree. And if you want to have more branches or less, that's up to you. And I'm happy with my amount of branches. And so from there, we're going to add in the small branches inside of the bigger part. And so these are just going to be lines coming throughout. Now these can be done however you would like. If you would like to change up your colors, feel free. I'm going to just stick with black, but you can totally have fun with this. Kind of like a stained glass window. All straight lines, but they still kind of look like tree branches. If you need to use a ruler for this, feel free. And if you make a mistake like I did with that dot, just go over it with a line. There's no need to start again. There's no right and wrong. Just create however you want to. I don't like how those start to look all the same, like I. So I'm gonna just draw through some of them. Change it up a little bit. Okay, so now that I have my branches done, we're going to go to our horizon line. I believe we've talked about this before. This is where the land meets the sky. So I'm going to put it here. You could put it higher or lower. It doesn't have to be a straight line. It could be a curved line like a hill. So this is land. This is sky. So this is our horizon line. And remember, when something is closer to you and you are here, it's going to be bigger, and when it's further away, it's going to be smaller. So we're actually going to play with a couple different animals. We're going to put a cat right here close to us, and it's going to be a square cat. I think Pepper's jealous. We do little triangle ears, dots for eyes, triangle nose, little hook for a mouth, little whiskers. And then our cubist tail. So we have one cat here, and then we're gonna put a cat far away in the background. So he's gonna be tiny because he's farther away. He's not a kitten, he's just further away. He's right there on the horizon line for us. Same steps as before. And he looks smaller because he's further away. Now the last thing, you could add some branches here, right? Because sometimes on a tree they'll have tiny branches. So I might put one here. And I'm going to put a bird sitting on it. He's going to be a triangle with some triangle tail feathers. His beak, his eye, and he's looking up. So there's my cubist cats, bird, and tree. And now we could go in and start to add color. So I like doing this because then you have to practice your control and your craftsmanship. Remember, craftsmanship means how carefully you're coloring it in. Are you going sloppy? Are you going quick? We have time, so take your time. Now remember, this is just your first one. You could go in and do it again, but make it your own. And when I'm doing my work, I like to use all my orange. And then when I'm done with all the orange, I'll switch my colors. Now you could be doing this with markers, color pencils, gel pens. You could go back in, do multiple layers. Remember, I love layering my supplies because it makes it look richer and more full. So if I wanted to, I could even take some crayons or some paint. Even if it's another color, orange, same thing. It's still gonna give it, you might not be able to see it on camera as well, but it's definitely looking richer. Or I could take a deep red. And I love layering different supplies. I like playing with it. What would happen if we went with a gel pen on top, maybe added additional lines? If you're older and you want to add more detail, this is something that could be really nice. Maybe you color in a section and then take a very similar color and add some like cross hatching or some more lines. The options are really endless. The gel pen, I noticed, doesn't want to go on top of the crayon, but you learn, and that's okay. I want you to experiment. I want you to play. I know you don't always think about art as playtime, but it really is. You're playing with supplies. You're learning. You're being a scientist. What can these supplies do? How can you make them work for you? And I know a lot of times when I have a marker, this one's not running out, but I thought about it. If you have a marker that's running out, I know a lot of times my students don't want to use it, but it's just another shade. It's a lighter version of whatever it used to be, and that's okay. So embrace what your supplies are doing. You are limited, you're being challenged by your limitations, and that's a good thing. Because then you know what? When you don't have limitations, you're gonna be so much more creative. You're learning so much right now by being limited. What can you do with the supplies you have around you? Maybe you're getting bored of them, so turn them into something new. And you're just gonna keep going, and you can color it as much or as little as you want. I really do like the green in there with the orange. Is kind of like a tree that's about to start to turn into a fall tree. I like how that's looking. So a couple of things you might notice during that. I layered my crayons a lot down here, and the further away it was, the darker I used. So I used really dark crayons for back further away, and I also used them for underneath to create a little bit of shadow. And then I also tried to play with texture in the trunk. I put the paper towel under. It didn't give me the best texture, so that's something you might want to play with, putting texture and doing a rubbing. We can mix all those things we've learned about in previous videos into what we're doing today. Always keep that in mind. I sometimes forget, but if I remember in the middle, then I remind you. So So we hope that you had fun making your cubism tree, and hopefully you take this idea and you do a cubism dog and a cubism porcupine. I don't know, so many ideas, so many endless options. I hope you take this and you create so much more. And as always, if you like the video, please hit the like, subscribe, comment, all that is really appreciated. And I haven't heard any suggestions in a while, so please drop a comment below with what you want me to teach you, because I know a lot of different things and I'm just picking ideas based on what I want to make for the day. So tell me what you want to make tomorrow or the next day or the next day, and I will make sure to add it. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Please share this video with anyone you think might enjoy cubism, and hope to see you tomorrow. Bye!